Yeah, no, Josh Gordon, not tonight. I got to host the show. Sean's not around, so not tonight. Save it. All right, yeah, thank you. Hey, sorry about that, folks. Welcome to 2 Minute Warning Football Fury. Obviously, you see that Sean couldn't make it tonight. He's out in Seattle. I think he's trying to scout with the team. You know, a bunch of offensive linemen. You know, he's trying to see what Jermaine Ifedi's doing with his ankles. He telling them to stop stepping on Russell Wilson's cleat and causing safeties. Other than that, folks, we got a good night for you. We got some 3 solid downs. We're going to say some confrontational stuff, so you might want to stick around so you can throw a banner at us. Also want to give a shout out to another show on 2 Minute Warning. It's the Pride Rules MMA podcast. It's a great, if you women or men are into the octagon, the fighting, the bashing in faces, awesome listening material. You can go to their website. They have a personal website up. It's priderulesmma.com. Great show hosted by Carl, Omar, Tommy, and Christopher. So check it out whenever you got time.
Carl the Gucci.
It's all Gucci.
The show's so great, it'll knock you out.
I'm scared of the fence, fellas. I don't know if I can even jump the fence anymore.
Shout out to Carl. There. One love.
That was a horrible pun, Tim.
I tried. I'm sorry.
Fellas.
We still show some love.
Fellas, what we're going to be discussing in this first down is...
listen. I'm sorry, Josh.
Yeah, I was going to say what we're discussing is Cam Newton and Charles Johnson are having surgeries. What's going to happen is Charles Johnson's going to miss the entire offseason program with his back surgery. And we got Cam Newton. Looks like he's going to get his, I believe, the torn rotator cuff under the knife and repaired up a bit. So he's going to be sidelined for offseason workouts as well. He should be back by the start of training camp in late July, though. So this brings to question, Tim and Fox. Charles Johnson is really still a captain of that defense, and the defensive front really wasn't anything spectacular last season. Is this really a cause for concern again? Because they're coming off a 6-10 season where people are still putting the Panthers in their playoff slots for 2017. They're not completely saying they're in rebuild mode or anything. But at the same time, these are 2 key components that are going to miss a little bit of time. And these are 2 boys that Charles Johnson's 31, and this back surgeries are nothing to play with. And 2, Cam Newton has taken the most hits out of anybody in the league since 2011. What do you think, Tim and Fox?
Oh, well, here's the thing. Any coach who had to ask his player who could not follow a simple rule about a tie, all right, a tie. When I have to take you off the bus and tell you and ask you why you're not waving the tie, you're my franchise quarterback, you're my guy. I make the rules. When you follow, they look at you. So when I see all of this, it's a problem. Now, his decision, surgery, of course, is an issue. He needs to be there by minicamp. Why couldn't he done it earlier? To be there by minicamp. It's football. It's a job. You gotta be there to prepare for these guys, especially these young guys coming in with the late additions in the draft pick.
Wait, are we talking about Charles Johnson or Cam Newton here, Tim?
We're talking about Cam Newton. Excuse me.
I believe the team doctors wanted to rest Cam Newton, and then during March he started having more lingering pain, and that's when he alerted the doctors. I can really give Cam about not going right away for the surgery. But the only other delay we're having right now, it appears, is I think we're just having an additional 9 days, I believe, Cam, because he doesn't want to miss out on obligations in Charlotte. So, I don't know if that's going to be an issue, really. 9 days really is nothing when you consider the months that Cam's going to be missing, with healing up. But at the same time, Tim, that's the offseason workouts is really what's going to be questionable. That's where the concern is brought. I don't want to really work out, and especially during training camp. Who says he's really going to be ready right then and there? Why do you want to practice with a Derek Anderson when you want somebody that probably modifies somebody more closely to Cam Newton? And that's why I brought up the possibility of why don't you just sign Kaepernick for an offseason workout body? People are going crazy. I understand why they're going nuts, but It makes sense to imitate Cam the best way you can, and Derek Anderson really doesn't do that.
Well, here's my thing. Here's the thing. I wouldn't sign Kaepernick is because to me it's a waste. Again, he's only really performed. I don't care. And for any of you guys out there who keep saying that, he went to a Super Bowl, what's the freaking the season? That defense led him to the Super Bowl. He was an athlete playing the position. Stop it already. Kaepernick is not out there. Forget the politic part. He is an athlete playing the position. He never tried to get better. He was known for being a diva in his own locker room. In my opinion, he probably never took the sport seriously. You don't work out with NFL players for 2 or 3 weeks and felt that you changed. Your mechanics change for 2 or 3 weeks. No, it takes time. It takes work. So it's a waste of time. I like Derek Anderson. You know why? Call him. He comes to work. It's not about the kneeling down. The man is just not good. If Tony Romo was kneeling down and he's a free agent and we all know he's a capable good quarterback, then there's an argument. If for some reason, let's put out there Jay Cutler. If Jay Cutler was kneeling down the whole season, we would know, you know what? It's just because of something else.
Okay, so is this a distraction issue for you, Tim? Is this a distraction issue?
Listen, Cam Newton to me is
he's not good, but Jay Cutler's not good either. No. RG3 is not good either. And you're looking for somebody who is a suitable backup. We're not looking for somebody here who's going to be a potential takeover guy for Cam Newton, a guy who's going to be a leader on the team, who's going to take over. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a guy that is going to be a suitable backup that can mimic, like Josh said, what Cam is capable of doing. So either if you're either in your feelings because of what Kaepernick did, or you're looking at it and see the value in what Kaepernick can provide to a team like Carolina as a backup quarterback.
Tim, to back up his argument before you get in yours, I just want to kind of piggyback off of Steven. It's the same reason the Giants kept on to David Carr for so damn long. He was so great for training camp practices because we had to face more mobile quarterbacks back then, like RG3, like sort of like a Kevin Cobb at the time, so you do need to, when you think about the South, you got Matt Ryan isn't the best, but Drew Brees can scramble on a little. Scramble around a little. You do need to kind of prepare for those kind of mobile quarterbacks that can't scramble. Obviously, you don't need to prepare for the Eli Manning runners of the NFL, but there are those that you need to kind of prepare and get used to the shifts and the formations of.
The reason I love what you said, Shim. Josh, I love what you said. I love that. You use David Carr. Excuse me. Did I say it right? David Carr or
David is the older brother? Yes.
Yeah, David. You use David Carr. Was a victim of a bad organization. Okay,
that's true.
Okay, you don't draft a franchise quarterback and don't surround him with no offensive line, no running game. I mean, he had to go to a psychiatrist for the amount of hits that he took. David Carr, when he went to the Giants, we're talking about you're talking about a great relief. Why? He wasn't horrible, even though he's getting beat up. If you're a fan that blames David Carr for the whole Texans season, you're crazy. You're not watching the game. Okay. So here's the thing. Is it like Geno Smith? The Giants brought in Geno Smith. What has Geno Smith done wrong besides not giving money back when it's time? Nothing. We're talking about the Jets. They still got they carry 4 quarterbacks on the roster, still don't know what they're gonna do. Hackenberg was the future, now they don't know. Here's the thing. Again, those type of guys, when you look at the season game, we all know what's the storyline, what's going on. You cannot blame a quarterback saying because the team has a bad record or it's a quarterback. No, look at the surrounding. Now, when it comes to Kaepernick, that man was surrounded. Like, I remember I'm the only one in 2 minute warning. I still have not got my apologies from these 49er fans when I had said when Michael Crabtree left the 49ers to the Raiders, I had said Watch him get close to 1,000 yards. You're going to see the difference what a quarterback can do for him. Kaepernick, all he can do is throw short. He's an athlete. He cannot read a defense as an excuse. Listen, if you want to cheer for him for what he did, for what he stand up for, listen, that's beyond. I cheer for him for that. The man did what he wanted, what he needed to do. But when it comes to football, let's be realistic. The man is not a good quarterback. All he's going to be is the media problem for the Carolina Panthers. And on top of that, they don't need two divas. Cam Newton is a diva. The man wants to showboat. Me personally, when I take Cam Newton as my quarterback, I'd rather take Geno Smith as my quarterback than Cam Newton. Mm-hmm. I promise you that. I'm not lying. I want somebody who's hungry.
Here's my thing.
Somebody who feels that you need it. I'm sorry. Fox, don't look at me like that, Fox. I see what you're looking at me like that. Stop it.
See, I just don't know why we're so quick to rag on Kaepernick. We can bring all the noodle arm jokes that we want to, but looking at his stats, I really don't see how we can harp on this guy being any worse than the free agent quarterbacks that are out there currently and the people that are getting signed right now, such as Josh Johnson or Josh McCown or even a Geno Smith if you want to argue him into the dinner plate. Looking at Kaepernick's stats, he's always hovering around 60% completion percentage. He's never had over 10 interceptions in a full 16-game seasons. He's what is this? I'm sorry. He just threw for 16 touchdowns last year, even with their abysmal team. And if you listen to Pro Football Talk, there's a guy, Stats on Fire. He's actually a really diehard 49ers fan, and he actually sat through the abysmal season of the 2016 49ers. He even testified that Colin Kaepernick, albeit, people get mad at people for protesting and, practicing their rights in America because that's how we are. Right. Aside from that, he looked just as good as he did in 2012 when or 13 when he actually led the team to a Super Bowl. I mean, you could argue that he had better receivers then, but that's my argument as well for now. How can you argue that he had 16 touchdowns when his best receiver was probably Torrey Smith at the time, and they had no tight ends in San Fran? I think Vance McDonald was actually probably one of their top receivers. But why not? Okay, let's argue this. Give Colin Kaepernick, we'll call it like a beta program for a new life in the NFL after his whole First Amendment act that he put up. Why not see how people react to the signing of Colin Kaepernick in Carolina in the beginning of April when it doesn't really matter? Let's say, okay, let's say he signed to a $2 million deal. He can get that, up to incentives, kind of like a Geno Smith if he does well, game time, workout, whatever. Let's see how the public reacts to it. Let's see how the internet let's see how it, let's lukewarm water. Does it boil fast? How is it going to go? And if everything is fine, why not give him a small deal to be the backup to Cam Newton? I personally would want Kaepernick over Derek Anderson. That's all day. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're watching on film, but I would take Kaepernick all day over Derek Anderson. And why not see how he does? It doesn't mean you have to pay the guy. You can cut him before the 53-man roster. But why not just see how the public reacts? Why not?
You know what? I got a home for him. I do got a home for him. See, 2 men and 1 in America. Here's the thing. I don't hate Kaepernick. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great athlete playing the position, not a great quarterback playing the position. Now, here's the thing. I do have a home for him. And it's somewhere in Florida where Tom Coughlin is now in charge, where Chip Kelly, who he has done well under, is over there. That's right, the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's where you know why? Because he would know the offense with Chip Kelly, okay? He knows what he likes. And you know what? Here's the thing. It's nothing wrong with competition between quarterbacks like Blake Bortles and Colin Kaepernick. My thing is, Kaepernick will go to Carolina. He will learn a new offense for however long he's there for. But on top of that, him and Cam Newton together is just not good. It's just two divas.
I don't understand. I don't understand this diva concept. I don't understand how it's not
divas,
good.
Fine. We all divas. You know how with 2 minute warning, we go into the bars. They say, 2 minute warning, shots. We like cheers, Norm. You know what I'm saying? We got that juice. They call us Tropicana because we got all that juice. That's what the divas. That's what they are, and it's no good. Come on.
But he again, you're talking about bringing in a guy to be a backup quarterback, Tim. We're not talking about him to be a starter. And yet, at the same token, you're saying, nah, don't bring him in over here in Carolina, but you want to put him in Jacksonville to compete for a starting job with a bullshit offense and Chip Kelly, a very vanilla offense, and you want to sit here and say, oh yeah, let's just send them down there with Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator. Let him take Blake Bortles' job. Or compete for Blake Bortles' job, and in this very simple, vanilla type of offensive system that because of Chip Kelly's arrogance and ignorance, he refuses to change to accommodate the NFL style of play, and he's trying to impose and force his will. Let's take a quarterback who we're saying is questionable to begin with and throw him down there. For that matter, use him as toilet paper and flush him.
Well, you know what? As I'm kneeling down thinking about what you said. Now, here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Kaepernick should go right away and challenge Blake Bortles. But Blake Bortles is on thin ice. But the thing is, he's familiar with the offense. Chip, he knows. Last year was his best season, Mike, and that's a terrible thing to say. Last year was his best season. And it was under Chip Kelly. Why? Because Chip Kelly's offense is great for quarterbacks who are athletes. Colin Kaepernick. And if I was to play Madden right now and put Kaepernick.
Actually, Tim, he had a quarterback rating of a 90 last season. He had a 91 rating in 2013 where he started all the games. He threw for 21 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Had a QBR of 69.7. Back in 2013. So yeah, he probably had his second best season with a completely depleted offensive and defensive team, void of talent and coaching and leadership, and yet you're saying that he's not a good enough quarterback.
No, so wait there, Bob. So you're bringing up 2012-13. That was the championship run, right? That was the championship run.
Yes.
Okay. So then after that, what happened? He
still had a quality quarterback rating. He threw 19 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. And he actually completed more passes. He completed 60% of his passes as opposed to 58 in 2013.
Okay,
so we're talking about Josh as a quarterback that can complete 60% of his passes and has a touchdown to interception ratio that is on par with average quarterbacks.
Okay, how short were those passes? Because I recall them years, he was doing a lot of dicks and dogs. He couldn't even throw the ball. He had an arm to throw the ball deep, but he couldn't even trust his own mind to connect deep. Because I recall Johnson from the Buffalo Bills, who was a third receiver, practically was the best receiver because all Kaepernick did was dump the ball short. Where he had Crabtree going deep, he had Anquan Bolden going deep. I mean, the man that had Randy Moss for a minute. Listen, here's the thing. Again, I can have a 99.9 rating if I throw in 2-yard passes all game. It'd be like McNabb with Michael Westbrook all day long. But McNabb didn't have a wide receiver until T.O. came on. So here's the thing. That looks so beautiful on paper, but we all watch the game. The man, he's a great athlete. But if you go onto his path, it just seems like he was never into football the way quarterbacks should be. Now, I'm sorry. A guy like Derek Anderson, I trust. Why? He's been there. He came in for Kaepernick and he has done the work. I don't need you need to mess with that. But if Kaepernick wants a direction to go somewhere where you are familiar, because you're the type of guy to come in and read playbooks. Reading playbook is like reading eggs and ham. I see him ham. Dr. Seuss. I'm sorry. No disrespect. But that's what the NFL made it seem like. He cannot read the defense. I'm sure if Dutto was here, Dutto would say the same thing. It's not about his decision. Listen, everybody's just looking for that. He stood up. But at the same time, it's not the same. He should go to Jacksonville. Him in Jacksonville, my God, put in a Madden game. Put him as a quarterback with that offense. Hopefully they get a good running back in the draft, either Cook or Fournette. My God.
All right, fellas. Yeah, that's something I wanted to bring up before we kill this down. Is obviously these two injuries kind of bring up more of a complication for the draft now. Dave Gettleman has a big question to answer in the first round now. With Cam Newton, those hits are tallying up, and he's leading the leaderboards with hits since 2011. But at the same time, as we discussed, Charles Johnson is 31, back injury now, and he also has missed. Let me pull that back up. I apologize. He missed 3 games last season and 7 the year before that for problems with his hamstring, and he also turns 31 this year in July. So Gettleman, we all know, loves going for the cornerbacks and the defensive linemen. But is it going to be smarter for the Panthers in this situation to stack up that O-line and go for someone like Cam Robinson at number 8? I know, Foggs, you and me kind of agree that at number 4, Leonard Fournette is probably going to be swept up by the Jags. But this was also, brought up by Nick, our very own member in 2 Minute Warning on Facebook. But he said, honestly, the injury to Newton to me says they're going to draft Fournette at 8 and go not go defense to take the burden off of Cam. But to me, I don't think Fournette is going to be available. And at 8, I don't think any other running back at that spot is worth taking. So do you guys think they should go O-line, or do you think they should go something else, like maybe even an O.J. Howard to shore up that O-line even more as well?
I think they should go O-line. To be honest with you, I think I wouldn't be shocked if Ramczyk was available, being that it looks like it's going to be a very defensive-heavy top half of this top 10 draft. If Ramczyk's available, I think you grab him, but. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they went O-line all day. I think that might be the best option for them, quite frankly, to go O-line. And again, like you reiterated, Cam Robinson. I love Cam Robinson. I like Ramczyk out of Wisconsin. I think I think the Jags are going to go best available. And even though they have tight end and defensive line and offensive line issues, hell, if Fournette is there, their offensive line was good enough. Yeah, you in their case, you grab Fournette and you see something on the back end of the draft, the second round, and grab somebody in the second round for the O line. So for Carolina, I don't know. Do you go Dalvin Cook or do you address the offensive line issue? I would say address the offensive line issue. Keep Cam safe. That is that's your quarterback. That's your franchise player.
Well, here's my thing. And if any Carolina Panthers fans are watching this right now, do not send me no hate mail, please. We're just doing our job and expressing ourselves. So, and I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say because this is what Fury is about. We say what's on our mind, and what's on my mind is this. A couple of names out. Excuse my expression.
Here it comes.
Kelvin Benjamin. Okay. Devin Funches.
John.
Okay. Russell Shepard. Charles Johnson.
From the University of Washington.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, Carolina Panthers fans, don't get mad at me. Get mad at the organization. Not only does what Fogman just said is nothing wrong with Fogman, so because you can go that direction. They need help everywhere. Everywhere. O-line, wide receiver, running back, in the bathroom. Because listen, they need help everywhere. You got a franchise quarterback who doing all this dabbing. And here's the thing. He can't dab when he's not protected, when he has nobody to throw the ball to, and when he has nobody to hand off the ball to. So here's the thing. When you're the Panthers and you got a franchise guy, I saw about like maybe 7 offensive linemen. And according to Scout, they're saying that the offensive line in this year's draft is not even that impact. It's not even great that you can get one in the later round. So here's the thing. At number 8, you want to play with some holy water. Hopefully, if somebody can make a phone call and say, hey, Carolina, can we trade up and you trade back? You better go ahead and do that. You better trade back and get some more picks, because that number 8 pick, all the man's gonna be doing is just getting Cam's autograph and say, oh, what do you need me to do? Pray. Because they're gonna make a bunch of a difference, one player. They need help anyway. He got nobody to throw the ball to, nobody's gonna block for him, he got nobody who's gonna hand up the ball. And it's simple. A great organization will go all out to get a player and protect their franchise quarterback. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Fox, you got any last comments before we wrap up here?
Nope. I agree there. They got to go online.
And Colin.
All right, folks.
I'm gonna leave him to kneel down and think about what he just said.
Well, listen, I respect what Colin Kaepernick did. I'm not. Listen, his right on life. Here's a different spot. I just don't respect. I don't respect how you got fans saying he's not getting picked up because of the politic moves he made last year. Oh, he took his team to the Super Bowl in 2013. He took them. Did we forget that type of they had the top defense for a couple of years? He was there, and a great coach in Harbaugh.
For you to believe that his role politically did not have some type of impact, impact. It's the reason Joe Mixon is a running back who is possibly going to be grabbed in the 3rd or 4th round, and you're hearing it from me right now, right here on the Fury. Everybody take it down. Mark this day down. Quote me on it. Joe Mixon is the best running back coming out of this goddamn draft, and he will prove everybody otherwise.
Listen, I believe you. I'm just saying Kaepernick. I just think
we're dropping the mic on that one right there.
Yeah, I agree with you with that. Mixon is the best running back in the
All right, folks, stay tuned, though. We're coming back at you in a few minutes. The next down's going to be about the Raiders. They were a playoff team last year, but could Marshawn Lynch put them even more in contention? Stick around.